All right, happy March 25th. This is our second Ask Me Anything AMA. We are going to go through questions that were posted in our Slack community. If you're interested in asking me a question, I'll answer anything you ask me. Head over to limitless.ai/community and post on the thread that's there in the announcements channel. So here it is. I'm going to go through every question and do my best to answer it so that you get full transparency into my thinking. Daniel asks, my thoughts on Pendant command mode feature idea. So I looked at this pretty closely and I love the idea. There are some challenges to implementing this, especially around the trade-off between battery life and responsiveness to your requests. Obviously, your Pendant is recording what you're saying. We can do things pretty quickly. If you hit a tap, we know right away soon we'll have a feature called starred moments, where if you tap it, you'll get an immediate response. So we're able to very quickly respond to signal from the Pendant. But doing things like a wake word or actively tapping it might not be the best way in. We may have a better solution to that. So stay tuned. Something I definitely think is going to come. We certainly have the microphone and capabilities to do this. And with Ask AI Anything, there's lots of things you might want to ask that command mode might be interested in. Thank you for this feedback. Love it. We're definitely thinking about it. And actually, just this sprint, we are doing a POC of something very similar, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. When are you going to actually start supporting rewind-like features again, screen recording? So this is something we've thought a lot about. We built some internal prototypes. We're not ready to commit to a specific date on this. It is on our roadmap. It's something that we are absolutely excited about. We think is a great time now that we've focused so much over the last few months and really, frankly, a whole year on Pendant. It's finally time to bring our vision together, take everything you've seen on your Mac and capture that as lifelog entries seamlessly with the rest of everything that we're working on. It's coming. I want to be reluctant to put out a specific date, but let's just say it's going to be probably sooner than you expect. I'm very excited for this, and it's something we're definitely going to do, and I think is going to be a huge advantage when you think about the holistic context of everything you've seen, everything you've said and heard. The magic you can do that with that is limitless. Will the same Pendant device work on iOS and Android? Let's say you switch phones. It will. As far as we know, it will. There might be a firmware upgrade necessary, but we did design the hardware to not be wed to iOS. The firmware currently is, but when we support Android, our intention is the hardware that's already out there in the world will work for both. If that changes, I will let you know, but that's our current intention. When will desktop and web app be in sync with the mobile app? It is something that we are working on. I just made a video actually announcing Ask AI Anything on desktop, but this is something we're keenly aware of. Folks are using multiple devices. They use their phone, they use their desktops, and we want to be available wherever you are. McLean, you've been an MVP of the community here. He's asking, is the Pendant capable of supporting Google Fast Pair, the Android equivalent of Accessory Kit, but with the added benefit of not requiring the app to be installed first, and Find My Device, the Android equivalent? The answer is I don't know. I don't think so, but if we are able to support that, we will when we support Android. Certainly, Accessory Kit has been really great from Apple, and we want to make this as seamless, as straightforward as possible. But I don't know is the answer to your question. Can you set the tone of the device so it'll summarize your day at night and cater to what you're interested in? Alongside summaries, I'd love to hear specific moments from my kids or how I acted today. I have all this already in a custom GPT prompt. Wow, what a great question. We just launched the capability to do this, the daily notifications. Check out the video I just posted on this, and hopefully this delivers exactly what you want. Will Pendant serve any purpose and be worth wearing for free plan users after exhausting the 20 free transcription hours per month? If not, will Limitless honor their promise of unlimited audio storage? And I think I had a lot of back and forth here with Paul here. I actually think our free plan is incredibly generous. I'm not going to name names, but some of our competitors call that same amount of hours their pro plan. We think 20 hours is incredible. If you're a student, it's perfect. You just capture a couple lectures. And so we really do think you can do a lot with the free plan. Most of our customers try it, they love it, and they want it for everything. So they move to the pro or unlimited plan. We do have unlimited audio storage. I think there's a confusion on what that means, storage as opposed to transcription. We let you store things indefinitely. The amount of transcription is the thing that the plan is differentiated on. Let me know if after the last video, I also just put a video up about our pricing. If after that in this video is still not clear, happy to answer that. McLean says he gets 10 to 20% a day if it's always running in the background. That's on battery life. It is designed to last all day. It really depends on how often you're recording. I set and forget it, record all day. I haven't run out of batteries. It is designed to last all day. It's not designed to last 2 or 3 days. Most users charge overnight. That's why for the first 1,000 people, we sent you this beautiful charging dock, and we will, I guess I'll announce, we will likely offer that as an accessory that you can get as well because it's been incredibly popular. I will announce that that is coming as well. All right. If you don't want to transcribe in the background, you can close the app and sync it all at once later. Yes, that's true. I run it in the background. It's totally fine compared to some of the other things, like my Aura Ring uses more background power than, and does far less, frankly, than the Pendant does. I think just one last question now. Would Pendant be rendered useless if Limitless went out of business, or is there a contingency plan to allow the devices to continue functioning in some way? We have absolutely no intention to go out of business, so we don't really have many plans for that. I guess I can make a commitment that if that were to ever happen, which would likely be very far into the future, given how much cash we still have, we would do the right thing. I care a lot about our customers, about the people who've been on the journey with us. I would make every intention of mine to ensure that you have access to your data. If there are ways for us to allow you to continue to use the Limitless app or the Pendant in a system that we're not the ones on the hook to host, but maybe you go directly to the other large language models, stuff we want to do anyway, or we make it possible to do a lot of that through the API, we'll absolutely do our best effort to do that. So we have no intention of going out of business. That's not the plan. But if we were to ever do that, you have my word that we're not going to leave you hanging high and dry. We're definitely not going to go out of business overnight. And we want to make sure that for the folks who depend on this, like I do, if we were to ever go to business, I'd be really sad. I use this every day. I can't imagine living life without it. We would want to make it sure everyone who's got a Pendant is at least able to do the best we can to let them keep going and certainly get access to the data they've already captured and hopefully be able to keep using it. The minute restriction is, I mentioned this by plan, is applicable to only new minutes, not the storage. So the storage is indefinite. And I gave an example here. More about pricing, always intended for power users, a free plan to end up with a brick device. It's not really bricked. A lot of students can use this for free. You buy it out of the box. Again, the number of minutes we give you on that free plan is just as generous as pro plans of some of our competitors. I'm not quite sure I understand this point here. James asks, what about the option of having more than one pendant to pair? The idea is if one needs to be charged or left is at the office and the other one is home. Currently, we do only allow you to pair one pendant per account. There's lots of reasons why that makes things simple. It's not technically impossible for us to allow you to pair multiple pendants per account. It just gets really complicated. So right now, honestly, everyone on our team's dog fooding and I dog food every day. It lasts all day as long as you charge overnight. So unlike the Humane Pin and others where you have to, or Narrative Clip, where you have to swap these things out, we really don't think that should be your workflow. You should be able to last all day. And if you're not getting all day battery life, let us know. There may be an issue that we can fix for you. Also, indirectly, an update on white as that is the original color I placed, and hoping you'll be able to provide an update on that. So I wonder if I should do this. I guess I will. So I got some samples here. Here is the current thinking sample for the white faceplate. This is just the very front faceplate. It looks really beautiful. I did not know if it would be possible to do this. So that is the white. I feel really good about this. We still have more work to do to make this work, match this with the U-band and the rest of the aluminum, but white feels pretty good. Iridescent, I'm nervous to show. It doesn't look as good. Some folks like it. It's hit or miss. This is what the iridescent faceplate looks like. I actually think more the back is what an iridescent is, more shiny. Imagine like a bubble your kids might blow. That's what the iridescent should connote. But we're working on it. We're dialing it in. Still no firm timeline on this, but it's definitely an active work in progress. If you're excited about the pendant, I'd get the black now and don't hold out. Try that. You'll see the magic. And when iridescent and white are available, you'll be able to get those as well. You can, and yes, gosh, McLean, you're the best. You can switch the pendant, which is paired. So if you want to switch it, you can, but you just can't have any two concurrently. Bruce, you can search today on your pendant recordings. Did I miss that? I do not think this is a ship. Yes, you can search. You can go in. It's the overflow menu in the upper right-hand corner, and there is a search option right there. Roma has to include other things. If Ask AI about today says ask about today, that's a big miss. Ability to edit transcript is under consideration. So you can edit transcript on your LifeLog entries. You can't on other things. So that's why it's still in the roadmap there, not as done. Under consideration means that we'll likely do it. We're not committed 100% to doing it. I think we're very likely to do it. We're evaluating, we're looking at it, seeing if it's worth it. We'd love to get feedback and votes from the folks in the community, and that's why it's under consideration. There is a chance this won't happen. Obviously, editing transcripts you can do in the app. That's unlikely not to happen. Yes, thank you. Gosh, you're so great, McLean. The rebrand to Limitless seems to imply that would help us our second brain, but that feels so hard to do with the current structure of the company. Rewind has so much of my life because it's my computer where I work. Limitless on my Mac is okay. You're right, it is just okay. But with no ability to search and mismatch of speakers mean that it isn't reliable. Pendant on iOS doesn't connect with Mac, so that's even more disconnected. It does right now, by the way. So Pendant on iOS, you can get your life logs on your Mac app, on the web app. You can also just, as of today, search. You can do Ask AI on your Mac as well. Limitless seems to imply there's multiple ways to interact with it. The question is, when will this be more aligned? All right. You are not crazy. It is a mess. And this is a byproduct of the way we've evolved and learned. We've navigated the idea maze, which one of our investors has coined that phrase, to describe a company that is on a journey to learn what matters to users and to maximize product market fit. It would have been great if we hadn't gone through this maze. Knowing what I know now, I know exactly what we need to build, what mattered, what didn't matter. But this meandering path as we learned what mattered is why we are where we are. So we are now, I would describe that as we've accrued a great amount of debt. Rewind was something we loved and still use, a lot of screen recording. From that, we've got this insight for Limitless that led to a web app that captures meetings, but not everything. And then Limitless, the Pendant, captures everything. So we are defragging. We are in the process of reducing that debt. It's going to take some time. I think by the end of this year, we'll be in a really good spot where we get the magic of screen capture in a cohesive LifeLog with everything you've said and heard from the Pendant, but we're not there yet. So appreciate your patience. I know it's a bit of a mess, and we do want this to be more aligned. It is important to me. I certainly would love it myself as a user, and knowing what we know now, I think we know how to do this in a way that's really going to be magical. All right, why does it say assembled in China, authorized, represented in the US? I'm sure it's not actually the case that some axes. China is ultimately in charge of the Pendant to some extent, and Limitless is just a rep reseller. They are absolutely not. This is language that we added because when you're in different countries, you need authorized representatives. It's a bit weird to be in the US as an authorized representative, but it is assembled in China. We've got a great team out there, but the company is a US-based company, and in China is absolutely not at all in charge of the Pendant. How much storage does Pendant have before it needs to sync with the phone? It is about 35 hours, and then it will blink red to tell you it stopped filling it in. Honestly, a buyer looks at our data, this almost never happens. Most people are near their phone, and rarely are you away from your phone. Even if you're out on a really long hike, your Pendant is near your phone with you, so it can sync offline to your phone. Your phone stores that. So the scenario in which you'd ever even hit this limit is you have the Pendant, you're with the Pendant, you're recording with the Pendant, but you're away from your phone for over 35 hours, which, as far as I can tell, has almost never happened. Is there a way to expand old transcripts and hide the topics and descriptions? This is something we're thinking hard about to really simplify this. I know it's a bit of a mess. We have a lot of sort of second level headers, so we're simplifying this. We're working on that. We are hiring. If your best way to impress the hiring team is do stuff like McLean, where you're going in just helping out other users on the community. I don't work for Limitless, but I imagine doing something like this wouldn't hurt. Yes, definitely helping out. And join our developers channel, build some cool stuff with our API would help. Ben, mine just arrived, cool hardware. I was hoping for Plod Note functionality, but always on. I have both. I was hoping for an Omni-like ecosystem for additional functionality too. Great. It's Grata hardware with very limited software, leaving me concerned as that was rewind and you pivoted to the next shiny thing. What is your plan for this in the next 60 days? Anything beyond that wouldn't trust right now. I'm deciding if this stays or not. So the roadmap is now public, and that is basically the plan for the next year. And the next 60 days is very crystal clear. We're really focused on speaker identification and using embeddings to really understand who is who when you speak, assigning those things appropriately, way better than we ever did on the Mac or web app. We've got lots of exciting things like Find My support, starred moments, you can tap the Pendant. So it's not going away anytime soon. We are building a great ecosystem. If you go to the developers channel, you'll see that, and it is always on. Yeah, that's my answer there. I settle for audio access, so it's a recorder, but I can't even listen to audio. So you can listen to the audio that it is transcribed. That is new, I guess, as of this message. Not useful for meeting recordings, can't attribute to speakers. So that's something we're working on very closely. The speaker attribution problem is the number one thing we are focused on. Might have been covered before, but I'll ask, and you can skip if you want. What's the goal for the Limitless meetings and Limitless Pendant LifeLog? Is the long-term goal to merge them into one single usable app? Yes. Another one, is there any plans for identifying podcasts and shows as a different category? So this we get a lot, and it is a very valid comment. Although in my experience, I don't listen to a lot of TV or radio, all that. So I'm probably unique here, but it's fine to have in your LifeLog. It's things you've heard. I've actually found that oftentimes the things you might not expect, like a TV show or radio, you want to go back to, and having a comprehensive set of everything you've said and everything you've heard, including things you might not think you want, like a podcast, I actually think you should reconsider that question. So podcasts, especially when you're learning something new, you might want to go back to it. Some folks have asked to turn this off. We might add a setting where if your voice isn't included in the conversation, maybe we don't include it. But yeah, I would urge you to consider just capturing it all and making use of it. Maybe if you don't think you might need it in the future, you might find a moment you do, and you'll be really grateful that you had it. You killed a man with a pencil. I don't really understand that. If I killed a man with a pencil, I'm very sorry for killing that man. I feel like in its current state, Pendant is better left off and just manually start recording when you sit down with someone or expect your conversation. That makes the minutes last longer, saves battery, has far fewer privacy concerns. You don't capture random garbage. Yeah, as I mentioned, the random garbage, oftentimes that's podcasts and stuff. I totally disagree. I find that I leave it on all day and it's amazing. I set and forget it. And the things I never expect, the serendipitous moments, the times your kid says something cute or something comes up in a meeting you didn't expect, those are the times I'm so grateful that it's on. Remarkably easy to remove TV shows. Yeah, but it has already wasted your transcription minutes. Honestly, just choose the unlimited plan. It's so worth it. So I think the free plan is great if you're a student. If you're a working professional and you care at all about the things you've said and heard, I think the unlimited plan is right for you. So, sorry, I know and especially now that it's a little bit cheaper. The unlimited plan, we just reduced the price $10 a month for the unlimited yearly plan. So no better time to go unlimited. Great, we might offer that. You have to look into that if we have that file. Thank you for asking. You need to print it with resin, bamboo, okay, 3D printer. Okay, a bunch of 3D printed stuff. Yeah, daily recap of after an episode of Severance was disturbing. Yeah, no spoilers on that, but I am also a fan of Severance. And that's another thing it's really great to go back to if you want to. I do think we have a VIP of the community here. Changing the speaker name gives you the option to do so in for the entire memory or your entire entry in that life log. That's true. How well does the pendant work when placed in a more hidden location? I don't think you should hide it. You should put it out there, put it on your chest, put it on your shirt. It works on your pants, but it's really well designed to be on your shirt like this. Could you go in depth on privacy practices with the recordings and data? Does anyone at Limitless have access to the data? If so, who? These are great questions. This is added a lot of this. And what I might do is I will add a frequently asked questions section to limitless.ai/privacy. We already answer a lot of that there, but these are all very good specific questions that I've answered in the community. But as an action item, I will take on the work. I will add a frequently asked questions section to the privacy section. These are great questions. HIPAA we've started it. It's going to happen. We have committed to doing it. I think it's very important. We want to do that and I want it. And so many people do as well. Here is the post that I think answers most of your questions. I linked to this earlier. Somewhere Dan has already replied about this. Yes. Gotten a lot of feedback that people want to bundle the subscription in. We just offered that. The bundle is now available. You can go to limitless.ai and buy the bundle. You cannot get it for $99. So it's $199 standalone, $399 with a bundle of the yearly Unlimitless plan where you save a bunch of money doing it together. And then Scott, thanks for the reply. I do have a few questions, better understand some of the details. Security, this is much just answered on limitless.ai/privacy. Audit logs, we will talk more about that. How long are they retained? They're retained indefinitely. They are tamper-proof. These are really great questions. Let me add a frequently asked questions section to that, and that should answer a lot of this. Thank you all for your questions. Sorry this took so long to get back to you, but I will try to do a better job of being more responsive to these AMAs. I may even do a live AMA as a Slack huddle or a Twitter Spaces. We'll see. Let me know what you think. I definitely loved answering your questions, and this is really great to hear. Thanks again. Really appreciate you all. Thanks for using the Pendant, and keep the feedback coming.